It's always funny when you start a project like this, it kind of escalates. Like this, I have painted the bull bar and it is now listed on eBay. Okay, so it's a few days later now. I did try and get the bolt out of the exhaust flange and it wasn't moving, so I didn't mess about with it. I've left it in and I've cleaned the threads up. And what I've also done is, instead of messing about with the old stud that had come out, instead of cleaning that up and messing about with it, I've just ordered a couple of new ones, and these are the new ones that I'm going to put in. For the price of them, it was easier to just order a couple of new ones and get new nuts and everything. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put these in now. I have also painted the manifold and the turbo. You can see this is the manifold all painted up, and the turbo, I've also painted the turbo, and I've also replaced this hose. This hose had split where the joints, where the clips are, so I've replaced that. So all I'm going to do is refit these studs. It's quite heavy, is this? I'm going to refit these studs in here with a bit of thread lock, and I'm also going to clean the faces of where the gaskets go. That'll make sure that we get a nice tight seal against this cylinder head. Yeah, let's get cracking. It's always funny when you start a project like this, it kind of escalates. Like this, I have painted the bull bar and it is now listed on eBay. I've decided that I'm going to sell it, and I'm going to cut down the bumper and change the front of the car, change how it looks. I've also purchased some of this cheap underbody sealant. This is going to go in the inside of the chassis and hopefully give me a little bit of protection for the next year or so till we can get a new chassis. What else have I got? Oh, I've got a bit of an update on the welder. If you've been following the other videos, you'll know that I've been using these. Let me just get it. I built a racking system here to make everything tidy in the garage, but it has soon turned into a bit of a pigsty. As always. Yeah, I've been using these hobby gas bottles, and after 2 patches I've gone through 2 bottles. Now these are £15 each, so that's £15 per patch. It's going to be quite an expensive fix, this chassis. So what I've done is I did a bit of googling on the computer, and I found a local supplier of what's known as hobby weld. You might have heard of it, you might not. And I've done this. I've modified my welder bracket carrying thing, and I've now got a big bottle of gas. Now this is just CO2, but this should last me quite a while. It initially cost me £70 for the rental of the bottle, and then £30 to fill it. And apparently this will hold 23 bottles of the disposable bottles. So these little hobby bottles, You can fit 23 of these in one of these. That's a lot of gas compared with how much this costs. These are 30 quid for 2. This was 30 quid for 23. So kind of a no-brainer. It cost me £100 in total, but it should do for the remainder of this project and for the future. And I don't have to give this bottle back until I've had enough of it. It's kind of a contract that you enter with them, and yeah, I can have it for as long as I want. And if I am somewhere else needing it, I can always go into a different store and they will fill this bottle up for me or exchange it for the same thing. And when I've had enough of it, I just take it back to the store and they will give me my £70 deposit back. So it's a bit of an initial outlay, but you get it back and it's a big saving. And I've noticed when I'm welding, the pressure of the gas is a lot better than out of these. You get a bit of a burst of gas instead of a bit of a out of these. So I wouldn't recommend using these. If you're going to do any welding, invest and get one of these. So that's a cheeky look at my setup. Now I'm going to go and get the ear defenders out of the van and start grinding these flange faces up. We're going to use a flap disc. Sorry, I'm burping, pardon me. I'm going to use a flap disc and just take the crap off the top, make it nice and clean. Change of plans. I'm just going to use the drill with a wire brush cup on it. I think that will do a good enough job. It doesn't have to be aggressive, it's just to take any loose rust off and make sure that the surface is nice and clean. There we go. You can see that these faces have come up quite nice and clean now. And I think I was right to not use the angle grinder and just use the drill. Perfectly flat and ready for the new gasket. No idea what's going on out there. Seems to be a helicopter looking for somebody. Why is he out there? So this is what we've got to contend with. We've got one of them missing there and another one missing here. And the gasket, the original gasket, is still in place, so we might have to clean the face of this off just so that we've got a nice tight seal. They're not after me, I promise. They're directly above me though. Maybe I should send the drone up. Follow him. No, that'd be illegal. I won't do that. Right, I want to get this gasket off. Just get past that. There we go. One gasket. So I've got the thread lock and I've locked 2 nuts onto this stud. I'm going to put a little bit of thread lock on here and then I'm going to wind it in, lock it in and then undo the nuts, and that's it. Simple as that. putting it in by hand means that you're not going to cross thread and ruin the cylinder head. If you knacker the threads in here, then it's going to have to be drilled out and re-tapped. It's just a whole load of other problems that you don't need and you don't want, really.
Millie is not feeling very well, but sometimes it is.
Right, that's that bit done. Now we're going to put the studs into this flange for the exhaust manifold. 2 new studs. Same process as on the car. We're just going to lock 2 nuts onto each stud. Are you twirling? Just lock the nuts onto the stud, nice and tight. Bit of thread lock and screw them in. Now, because I've cleaned up all the threads and these are new studs, going really easy. And then just tighten them on these studs, loosen it off.
I can feel it lots around.
Job done.
Go.
Now I've noticed that these are quite, well, they're a little bit longer than the original ones, so maybe if that one snaps I will replace it with a newer one. I have got 3 of these now. 2 are going in and I'll keep 1 for spare. Those are the studs fit. Let's get it fit to the car. First I need to get the torque settings for the exhaust manifold because we're going to fit it and torque it down and I want it all to be right. I've snapped studs in the past and I don't want to snap anymore, especially now I've just put some new ones in. Yes? Well, this trusty Haynes manual will help.
Ow.
Exhaust manifold, securing nuts, 300 TDI engine,
Daddy, I wired
45 Newton meters.
I wired it.
There we go. Now all the rest of the stuff can go on. The oil drain, the oil feed, the EGT sensor and the remaining pipes. I'm going to leave this area free so that I can clean up the chassis down here, because all this needs cleaning up. Right, I think I will leave the video there. That is how to fix a broken stud and how to refit them. Remember, check your torque settings, make sure that everything's right. You don't want to snap your studs or strip threads, anything like that. So yeah, thanks for watching. Join us next time for another part of the project. We'll see you again. Thanks for watching.